In this video, we dive into the shocking drama that has unfolded between WNBA legends Nancy Lieberman and Sheryl Swoopes, all centered around rising star Caitlin Clark. Nancy Lieberman recently revealed that her friendship with Sheryl Swoopes came to an abrupt end due to a disagreement over Caitlin Clark's impact on the game. The situation escalated when Swoopes shared private DMs with Clark, sparking outrage among fans and critics alike. To make matters worse, ESPN's Stephen A. Smith didn't hold back in his criticism. Nancy Lieberman, a legend in women's basketball, recently revealed that her friendship with fellow WNBA icon Sheryl Swoopes ended because of a disagreement about Caitlin Clark, a rising star in the league. During an appearance on the Stephen A. Smith Show, Lieberman shared that a conversation about Clark led to a fallout between her and Swoopes. This situation highlights the influence Caitlin Clark has in the world of women's basketball, even impacting relationships between longtime friends.
However old, 24 years old, she was a fifth-year senior. Right. She was taking 40 shots a game. Her records were illegitimate. And I got off the treadmill and I called her as a friend. And I said, you know, you can say whatever you want. You can have your own opinion about anybody. But you do have to get the statistics right. I mean, facts matter. And if you just get ahead of this and just say, hey, I made a mistake on my numbers, then this thing is over and everybody respects you for your opinion. And, you know, you might like Boston, I might like the Yankees. You know, it's okay to have difference of opinions. Well, she got upset with me on the phone and I was like, Sheryl, you know, I'm not doing anything to hurt you. I'm just sharing, we're talking. And so our relationship it pretty much is not happening at this point. I tried to talk to her at the Final Four. Right. She didn't want to talk to me. My life's going to be good or great with or without Sheryl Swoopes in my life. I'd rather have her in it.
Swoopes has responded to this video on X saying, now here you go. I get what you're trying to do with your boy Stephen A. Smith, but it ain't working. You know good and well what happened. And ditto, my life is good without you two and him. You want to go there? While Swoopes surely has her own version of the story, the bottom line is that what was once a friendship between two women's basketball icons has deteriorated over a conversation about Clark. WNBA analyst Sheryl Swoopes shows awful lack of class after leaking private DMs with Caitlin Clark. Sheryl Swoopes, a well-known WNBA analyst, came under fire after she shared private messages between herself and Caitlin Clark. The messages were about a previous comment Swoopes made that was perceived as disrespectful towards Clark. While Swoopes tried to explain her side and apologize, many felt that sharing the private messages publicly was inappropriate and showed a lack of professionalism. This incident has further fueled the controversy surrounding Swoopes' criticism of Clark. Swoopes' opening DM concerning the incorrect statement read, "Hey Caitlin, I wanted to personally reach out to you and say, I made a mistake on what year this is for you. COVID year has me all confused. Lol. I also have nothing but respect for you and your game and appreciate your skill. Congrats on everything you have accomplished thus far. Be blessed." One of Clark's responses read, "No worries at all, I appreciate you reaching out and there's no hard feelings. I appreciate all you have done for women's ball and for inspiring girls like me and building the foundation and platform we have today." Apologies were made, but Sheryl Swoopes demonstrated poor judgment by sharing the screenshots, leading people to question her motives once again. Swoopes' followers said she lacked real class by posting the screenshots during a meaningless conversation. Never trust someone who publishes private messages, one follower responded. Stephen A. Smith slams immature Sheryl Swoopes amid Caitlin Clark issue. ESPN commentator Stephen A. Smith didn't hold back in his response to WNBA legend Sheryl Swoopes amid their ongoing feud about Caitlin Clark. For those who missed it, Smith previously called out Swoopes for not even mentioning Clark when talking about the success the Indiana Fever are having. The Hoops icon was already labeled as a Clark hater, and her actions did nothing but fuel that narrative. Smith called Swoopes insane for snubbing Clark, adding that there is no way in hell that you just accidentally left Caitlin Clark's name out of that soliloquy that you dropped about the Indiana Fever. Swoopes, for her part, tried to justify her actions by claiming that she has a personal relationship with the players she mentioned. She also shared several posts on X critical of Stephen A. Smith.
The same news last week when she sat up there and was applauding Indiana Fever players, but then forgot to mention Caitlin Clark. She jumped all in my ass because I sat up there and said, hey, how you gonna ignore Caitlin Clark? You know what she brings to the table. How you just going to ignore her? That's not an accident. Sheryl Swoopes is a champion. A champion. Look at her tweet and what she put up about me. You talk about whomever and whatever you want to on your podcast, correct? So why can't I? Also, did you listen to the entire episode? Nope. I have a personal relationship with these players, and they deserve recognition as well. That ain't the point, Sheryl Swoopes. Yes, I did listen to your entire podcast. You didn't mention Caitlin Clark. So I was right, number one. Number two, your personal relationship, what that got to do with your coverage? Ain't nobody said don't mention them. Ain't nobody said don't applaud them. Nobody told you to ignore them. What we're saying is if you're going to give the Indiana Fever all the credit in the world, how you going to mention the Indiana Fever without Caitlin Clark's name even coming up? So then after that, Sheryl Swoopes engages in levels of immaturity. There's no way to slice it. I'm not going to insult this champion, this great basketball mind, this phenomenally accomplished Hall of Famer. I'm not going to insult her. All I'm going to say is it was pretty damn immature to come back at me like that. Called me an effing coward because I called you out for not doing your job. So you on a podcast, that means you don't have to do your job? I mean, the bottom line is this. She engaged in a level of immaturity. Let's just call it what it is. I mean, to just bite at me like that, or why? Because what did I say?
What do you think about this feud between Nancy Lieberman and Sheryl Swoopes? Do you think Swoopes was right to share those private messages? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more updates on this and other major stories in women's basketball.